Oh. Can you believe what he said to me? Hello, gals, and welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can heal those relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. Hey, Becca here. I got a snippet for you, but I want to be very careful with today's snippet because I don't want to offend anybody. Yes, very, very careful not to offend anyone. But hey, listen, we'll talk more about that in a second. Before we do, I want to make sure you know you are invited to a masterclass I'm giving this Saturday, April 12th. That's this Saturday. That's like 3 days from now. And this is live on Zoom. You bring a pen, and I'm going to walk you through some mindset shifts that will help you finally get the traction you're looking for. Everything that happens in our lives is based on what we believe about ourselves, about our relationships, about the world around us, about our past, about our future. It's all between our ears. We know that, right? That's what we talk about in Snippet Land. We know that it all happens between our ears. So join me this Saturday and we'll give you a little cleaning out. We'll clean out between your ears a little bit and see if we can help you get started on, oh dear, did I just offend somebody? Oh no, I'm being a little bit facetious, gals, but seriously, this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific, that's noon Eastern and the time zones in between. Go to the show notes of this episode and click the link and meet me on Saturday and we'll spend some time together. I'd love to do that. Now, let's get back to the snippet here. As I said, I do not want to offend anybody. Have you ever noticed me being worried about offending anybody in the past? Well, that's because I don't worry about it. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. If you're offended by anything I say, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. Okay. Now, does that got your attention? Good. Let's talk. Are you a person who's easily offended? In fact, are you a person who can be offended? Interesting question. Can't everybody be offended? I mean, if somebody does something nasty enough, offensive enough, surely anyone can be offended. Well, the truth is, hate to say it, but we don't do fluff here. I would say that you should be unoffendable. Is that a word? No, it isn't, but we'll use it anyway. So that's what we're going to talk about today, gals. Are you easily offended? That's got to stop. We'll talk about that. But even being offended at all could be a goal. So that's kind of a double whammy, isn't it? Okay, so first of all, are you the type of person who's easily offended? Somebody says something. Some people, you look at them the wrong way and they're offended. And then they want to come and tell everybody all about it. She said this, he did that, this happened next. All of that. That whole scenario is just pure ego and a person who lacks confidence and is seeking attention. Sorry if I'm offending you. It's ironic, right? To be offended by someone's words is really actually kind of absurd if you think about it. So why? Because first of all, they're words, even, the way they look at us, even things they might do. To be offended just indicates that we don't have the emotional maturity that we want to be aiming for, gals. We want to aim higher than that. I have a story for you. This is a true story, and here it is. This is the story of a married woman with a happy marriage, a long, long, long marriage, several decades. A comfortable marriage, right? Not super passionate or anything. Best friends, right? In love, gonna go to the end together. A comfortable, long, long, long marriage. Probably many of you out there have one of those. I do. The husband in this marriage, one evening, was sitting with his buddies, having a couple of beers. He doesn't drink a lot, but, having a couple of beers. And he phoned his wife to ask her what time to be home for dinner. She told him. And then he hung up the phone, and then he continued to sit there with his buddies. And the buddies are being a little bit jerkish. They're being men. They're in the man cave, right? They're in the man cave. They're saying stuff they wouldn't say if their wives were around, but there it is, right? And our husband here accidentally phoned his wife again, pocket dialed her. And she didn't hear it. She had gone off and done something else. And so the phone went to voicemail. What this means, my dears, is that the conversation in the man cave was being recorded on her voicemail, unbeknownst to our husband. Get the picture? This happens. Has this ever happened to you or anyone you know? This happens. Be careful, dears. And so the evening goes on. The husband goes home for dinner. The wife is there. They're happily doing their usual evening routine. And a little bit later, she notices she's got a voicemail. So she picks up the voicemail only to hear a man cave conversation. And during this man cave conversation, her name comes up. In fact, her husband of several decades says some stuff about her that she actually can't quite believe. She has to listen to it 2 or 3 times to make sure it's his voice, but she knows his voice. And she's stunned at what he says about her in the man cave, alone with his buddies after a couple of beers. With her heart racing, she puts down the phone and just quietly walks to her room and sits there on the bed, and she doesn't quite know what to do. She's anxious to be a person who's growing. She's a snippet lover, you see. She thinks to herself, he's just being an idiot. He's just showing off for his friends. I know he loves me. I know he didn't mean it. Let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Okay, she's going to let it go. Her heart is hurt, you see. I don't know if offended's the right word, but her heart is hurt because she really didn't think that her husband would say things like that about her in the man cave. But then she realized, hey, man are man, right? We're just human. We're just, And she realized also that he was kind of keeping up with the quote-unquote Joneses, getting in on the conversation, pitching in, because others were also talking about their wives. Her heart hurt, though, because she has such a deep trust for him and such a long-standing friendship that she really didn't think. She somehow thought that he would be above that. Not my husband. My husband wouldn't do that. He's above that. So she was taken aback. Like, okay, I guess I misjudged that one. She was hurt. Like, let's be honest. She was badly hurt. As she sat there on the side of her bed, she thought about leaving. She thought, considering what he said, I could pack a bag and walk out the door right now, and all I have to do is play the tape to him, and there's nothing he could say. Because you see, one of the things he said was, I would leave her, but I'm too old to find another wife. She didn't pack the bag, but she thought, I'll keep that in my back pocket. Maybe I will pack my bag soon, but not tonight. And then she sat there a little longer, and then finally she couldn't stand it. And she walked out into the living room where he was sitting, asked him to mute the television, and played the recording. And when he heard it and she saw the look on his face, she regretted it instantly. The pain on his face, the fear and shame on his face, absolutely broke her heart. And she regretted it. She thought, why didn't I just delete it and move on? Now the cat was out of the bag, and he was devastated. He just sat there devastated. He couldn't even speak. And then he tried to speak and he couldn't speak. He just didn't know what to say, and neither did she. And she went back to her room, and a little while later he followed her, and he tried to start explaining, and she said, let's not even bother. I get it. And he said, yeah, but, and tried. And she just said, I really don't think we need to talk about this. And he's like, I love you. And she's, I know you love me. Let's just leave it, please. And he kept trying, and she finally had to just say, I don't want to talk about this. She didn't know if that was right or wrong. She just didn't want to talk about it. And so she went to sleep, or tried to. The next day she got up early and went out, and when he got up, he sent her several hearts via text, asked if he could talk to her. She said she wasn't ready. Later that day, she went home, and he was there wanting to apologize more, wanting to tell her how much he loves her, wanting to tell her that it was just the stupidest thing he'd ever done in his life. But she already knew all that. She knew him for decades, and she knew he didn't mean it. He was just acting like a 12-year-old, showing off for his buddies. They had a very short conversation. She just kept saying, I know, I know, I know. They deleted the message from their phones and went on with their marriage. What would you have done? Do you think she did the right thing? So let's talk about being offended. Let's talk about getting our fur up when people say stupid things. People say stupid things all the time. I'd like you to look in your memory bank, my dear. Hello. I'm including you in there. How many stupid things have you said in your life and done? Drinking or not drinking, but okay, throw the alcohol in the mix. How many? I believe that this woman made a bit of a mess of that situation. I believe that she should not have even told him about the recording. Because remember, he didn't even know he had been recorded. It was just a conversation he had that was gone. But she did tell him. And I believe she did the next best thing she could have done by just letting it go. I also believe that this incident strengthened their marriage and their friendship. She did tell him that she felt betrayed, and of course she did. And he knew that. I hate to say it, gals, but sticks and stones might break your bones, but names can never hurt us. If you're easily offended, I really want you to think carefully about it. And I'm not talking about, this is a pretty extreme example, but I really wanted to share that story with you because it's pretty powerful. We react. Let's try not to react and instead respond in any situation. I want you to ask yourself, what would you have done if you'd have gotten that message on your phone? The goal, in my opinion, gals, should be to be unoffendable. That you can't be offended. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a saint. You will be offended. That's not what I'm saying. It's going to happen. You're going to feel offended. It's what you do about it that I'm talking about. When you're offended, you've got choices. You can react, be offended, hold a grudge, go and tell everybody else, did you see what they did? They did this, and then they did that, and then they did that. Or you can take a deep breath and take the higher path and let it go. I'm officially declaring 2025 the year of letting go in Snippet Land. Letting go. Let's start practicing it more and more. Earlier this year, we did a little book study, a light touch of David R. Hawkins' book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. You'll hear me talk about letting go here and there, but overall, I believe that the ability to let go in all areas of our lives is the key to freedom. And I'm going to talk about it more, and I'll be bringing it back to letting go over and over again in different types of situations and different contexts. We can let go of emotions, but more than that, we can let go of being offended. We can let go of the past. We can let go of anything, but we have to learn how, and we have to be willing. So let's just start with this. I invite you to think carefully about how easily offended you are, whether or not you're easily offended. I invite you to think carefully about how you would like to react to a situation that would normally get your fur up. This wife in our story is no saint, but she is determined to grow in this, the last era of her life, because she is in snippet land. She takes the snippet seriously. So where do we draw the line, What's too much? Where do we put our foot down and go, look, I was willing to let go and not be offended, but this is too much. Really? What's too much? I'll let you decide. I'm proud of you for receiving this snippet with an open heart, and I invite you to go away and give it some thought. Remember, no matter what someone says, it's their shit, not yours. All we have to do is be secure in our own desire for growth and know that we're not mistreating people. And it doesn't matter what people say. It really doesn't. If you're easily offended, I want you to consider that you're only hurting yourself. And I can help you with that this Saturday, April 12th, at the Master Your Mindset Masterclass. Go to the show notes, sign up, and I'll see you on Zoom at 9 a.m. Pacific, and we'll start securing your mindset so that nothing can offend you, and you can walk through this world untouchable, being kind and loving to other people, and living your best life in this era of life. See you tomorrow. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.